Welcome back, boys and girls. If you're watching this video, then you are trying to learn about our e-learning process at Charlotte Prep. Before we begin, I would like to say a great big thank you to Mrs. Morales. She is such a wonderful teacher at our school, and I am so proud of her. I want you to know that this summer she has been in-servicing our staff on Google Classroom, Google Meets, so that we can all be on the same format and so we can do the things that's best for you as a student at our school. So Mrs. Morales, I want to say at the very beginning, thank you so very much.
My pleasure. Thank
and
you.
Then also I would like to say a great big thank you to our staff. I am so proud that our school can offer this service to you. If you're looking at e-learning, then right now you're feeling as though it's best for you to stay at home instead of be at school. Or you are on quarantine because you may be sick, or a member of your family may be sick, or there may be symptoms in your family. So I am so thrilled that we can offer this to you because we don't want your education to stop. And we know that you're a part of our family. But I did want to say a few things before we begin. There are some schools that cannot offer this. And the schools that are offering this have a designated teacher that's doing all of the e-learning. At our school, our teachers are doing the in-person learning, and they're connecting you with Google Meet to do the structured e-learning. So they're working very hard for you, and I want you to make sure that you work very hard for them. Our structured e-learning is not going to be like it was in the spring. It will be more structured. We are taking attendance. We're going to expect you to be there, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about it in just a few minutes. But I just wanted to set the stage that if you think this is going to be like it was in the spring, it's going to be much, much harder, because we want to make sure that your education, you're getting the benefits of coming to Charlotte Prep. So let's go ahead and get started. And as you know, Mom and Dad, I sent you some information about a month ago about our structured learning. And I've also added that same handout in this video. So for example, you'll get the video today as well as you'll get this handout as well. So look at both things. But number one on our guidelines for our program is students will be required to be on Google Meets during each class period. So let's talk about that. If your schedule says that you have math first period and it starts at 8:15 or 8:20, whatever the time is on the schedule, you need to be there at 8:15 and 8:20. There's no tarding, because my teacher is going to be teaching the class and she can't be waiting for you to get on. So if you need to be prepared, make sure you've got your computer on at least 10 minutes ahead of time. Make sure that you've got the connection ahead of time. And then when the teacher says that you can log on to Google Meet, you need to be able to do that, because unlike when everybody was doing e-learning, our teacher cannot wait on you. So you need to be up and you need to be ready and you need to be online so that we are doing exactly what we need to do. Attendance is also going to be taken. And some of you did great for e-learning last year. Some of you had a little bit harder time. And if you're one of those students that's having a little bit more difficult time, that's where you, Mom and Dad, and me, where we're going to have a conference and talk about, is this the right process for you? Because at the end of the day, our goal is for you to be safe, but also to learn. So Mrs. Morales, anything you want to say about my opening comments?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to see everyone. And we worked very hard this summer just to make sure that we were all using the same platform and to make it easier for all the students to be able to join their classes. So pretty much Google Meet, there will be a link generated through Google Classroom. So all you will have to do is log into your Google Classroom, find your link, click on your link and it will bring you right into the class. So the purpose for this is for you to be able to take your class live. So even though you're not physically at school, but you're having that live lesson with your teacher. So the one thing, parents, that you need to be aware is that the teachers have to log in first. Once the teachers log in or join the meeting, then the students are able to join. What's going to happen is if the student joins before the teacher, they're going to get a message saying that the meeting is not available. So it's very important that they try again. So pretty much when we have our e-learning meeting, we will be going over everything. So Google Classroom, we're gonna go ahead and review it from the start, showing them how we're gonna be logging in, showing the student where they can find their link to join their classes. And at the same time, we're gonna go through everything, making sure that they know how to submit every assignment. So again, to make it easier for them.
Thank you, Mrs. Morales. Great job. And Mom and Dad, I want to talk about that. And boys and girls, those of you that's tuning in and listening to this, I want to go back to what Marilyn said. The class starts at 8:20 if we're talking about first period. Well, you have to remember that, you know, the teacher may be assisting a student and she's going to log in the time she says she's going to, but accidents and things happen. So if she's not on right at 8:20, don't say the class is not available and then you turn off your computer and act like that there's no class for today. So, you know, you need to come back in within a minute. You need to be diligent and keep at it. So please make sure that you do that, okay?
And Mrs. Spear, adding something else too to the live class, just make sure that you follow your schedule. So like Mrs. Spear said, you have a class that starts at 8:20. Then if you see on your schedule, your next class starts at 9:10, that means you're gonna be constantly in front of the screen, taking all these classes live.
Very good. And Mom and Dad, I also want to encourage you to have the kids do their work. I know sometimes you want them to go into their rooms and do their work where it's quiet and where you're doing certain things that they can't be distracted with. But sometimes that's not a good place for them to go, simply because they may be tuned in to our teacher in our class, but they may not really be tuned in. So please make sure that you help monitor that so that we know that they are learning, because this needs to be a class where their learning is not stopping, because they're going to be coming in and out. So we want to make sure that we do everything for them. And at home, they need to make sure that they are keeping their attention to what the teacher's saying. So let's go to number two. Number two, just like their peers, they will be required to do all the assignments. It needs to be completed, submitted, and turned into Google Classroom, just like everyone else. And the deadline will be the same for all. So we're trying very hard to make this program very fluid, so that if let's say that you are doing fine, and in October you start getting some symptoms and you need to stay home. We're doing everything with even the kids here in our school to be able to go on structured e-learning like that and be okay. So we're going to be submitting our documents by Google Classroom. We're going to be just like your child will be doing at home. The deadlines will be the same for both. So it's going to appear, our goal is to let this appear as much like the real school, in-person school, as the e-learning. So Marilyn, I don't know if there's anything you want to address with that.
Yes, so pretty much like Mrs. Fear said, all the teachers will have the deadlines for the assignment. So pretty much if a teacher has the assignment for today and is due tonight, that means when tomorrow or even at the end of the day, the teachers are able to see at what time the students submitted the work. They're able to see if they're missing the work. So pretty much we will have the same schedule with the students in class, the students online, doing e-learning. So everyone will be submitting work at the same time.
Very good, very good. I know our teachers worked all summer long because we want to be able to provide these options for you. And they really made sure that it would be seamless and would be as much like the real school. So Marilyn, I thank you and I thank the other teachers for getting that together.
And another thing, Mrs. Fear, excuse me, the idea too of having the live sessions or the live lessons is because let's say maybe by the beginning of Q2, you're ready to come back to school. But you know what? You haven't missed a beat. You've been there with your classmates, with your teachers on a daily basis. You don't have to make up any work. Pretty much you'll come into school and you will integrate into your class with your classmates, and you'll be up to date and you won't feel like you're lost and you don't know what's going on.
Yes, and Marilyn, that is so good. And I know that you were instrumental in helping our school move this forward. And I know that our teachers were instrumental along with you. But you've taken the lead for this, and I appreciate it. I also want to say something that Mrs. Morales said, is that at our school, once again, students can come in when you feel as though you feel safe or you are no longer sick. So for example, she mentioned the first 9 weeks. We are not at the present time, unless we think there's a problem, we are not setting deadlines. Some schools are saying if you choose e-learning, you cannot come in until the end of the first semester. We're not saying that. We are saying basically all you have to do is talk with us and let us know you are ready to come back, and we will be welcoming you with open arms. Yeah. So those are all things that we have in store for you. So let's go on. I believe we're ready to go on to number 3. And we've already talked about some classroom expectations, but there will be class requirements, class expectations, and it will be the same for all. All class information will be on Google Classroom, and students will be responsible to keep up with all of their work. It's going to be harder for us to come after you and grab assignments because, you know, my teachers are basically, they're teaching all day. And I know that when we did our spring e-learning, that, you know, maybe the class period was only, maybe you had a video and maybe it was only 10 or 15 minutes, but now you're going to be involved with, your class period could be 30 to 40 minutes long. It may not be, but, you know, it's going to be more like in-person school. So, you know, and there's not going to be, you know, the pre-recorded videos that you can watch at 8 o'clock tonight. So, you know, those are the things that I want you to think about as we're going forward. So, Mrs. Morales, anything you want to add to number 3?
Mm-hmm. And like I said, again, you're a student or you're part of this family, of our Charlotte Prep family. You know what your expectations are as a student. You know how each teacher, their style, what they expect, the work, and pretty much just because you're not in the classroom physically doesn't mean that you're not to follow the expectations of the teachers. So we've worked really hard just to make sure we're all on the same platform. We all have one place to submit the work, so that way it would be easier for you. But at the same time, you need to keep in mind that the expectations are there.
Very good. Number 4, I've already talked about this, but if we get into this process and it is hard for you to keep up, then the teachers are going to be talking with me we'll be talking with you, mom and dad, about, hey, they're not keeping up with their work, they're behind. We'll do that very quickly so that you'll be able to see what's going on. At that particular time, you'll need to change some things at home and make sure that the child is able to keep up with what's going on in school. If we find out that your child cannot, then I'm going to be talking with you about getting them back into school. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we want them to be safe and we want them to learn. So those are the things that we'll be going over. And number 5, anything you want to say about that?
Yes, and actually, another thing I know sometimes there might be maybe like a Wi-Fi connection issue. Well, just to let you know that the students can download the Google Classroom app onto their devices, whether it's their iPads or their phones, and they actually will be able to access Google Meet through the app too. So there is a link there that they're able to access the classes. When they come in for our e-learning meeting, once again, that's something that I will be reviewing with them when we meet in person.
Very good. So you're saying really there's not an excuse for internet connection. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. They would be, yes, they will be able to join us even if they're on the road.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, so now let's go to number 5. Number 5 on the sheet says, our e-learning is important for you to know that it is intended for those that do not feel safe at the beginning of the year with COVID-19, or maybe even throughout the year. There may be some resurgence that you say, hey, you know, cases are getting higher, or I want to just pull my child back a little bit. That's what this is for, or for your family that's sick or quarantined. And I want you to know that we do not feel as a staff that it is best for students to do e-learning for an extended period of time. So, you know, just remember that we know that our in-person learning is more beneficial to the child. So in saying that, Mrs. Morales, what else would we like to add to our meeting today?
Parents, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. I know all the teachers, we've been collaborating together, making sure that we're all on the same page too, making sure that, again, make it easy for the students. But if there's any questions that you have regarding Google Classroom or regarding Google Meet, just feel free to email me. We will probably also include a attachment with a parent guide to Google Classroom, so it can help you also understand what your child will be doing. And again, once you read that attachment, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me.
Okay, very good. So today, Marilyn, and once again, I'm so thankful to Mrs. Morales. She is offering 2 sessions this week. She's offering a session on Thursday at 1 o'clock, 1 to 2. She's offering a session on Friday from 1 to 2. You only have to come to one of them. During that time, you'll be bringing, if you have any books left over from last year that you forgot, that you didn't bring back, you'll be bringing those back, and you'll be getting your books that you need to have at home. And then during that time, she's going to be taking you through some of the Google Meet information. So it is very important that when you start school on Monday, that if something's not working, that you get on it right away and you let us know what the problem is. It's not going to go away. So you have to make sure, boys and girls, that you keep up with it. If something is not working right at home, day one, we need to know about it and we need to get ready for it. And you need to follow the Google program. If you have a class at 8 o'clock, which every one of you will, you need to make sure that, you know, you're up at 7 o'clock getting ready for school, and that, you know, you have your computer. You can't start getting ready at 8 o'clock. It's not going to work. So you need to be prepared. Boys and girls, I want you to know that we love you. We cannot wait to see you, even by e-learning. We're just so thrilled to have you as a part of our family. And Mom and Dad, we want to thank you for being a part of our school. We love you as well. Mrs. Morales, anything in closing?
I'm looking forward to seeing you at the e-learning meeting. And like Mrs. Fear said, that even throughout the year, I'm glad that at least I will be able to see you through video chat. So thank you so much for everything. And I'm glad we're able to offer this to our students to help them be successful.
Very nice, very nice. So I just want to thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you Thursday at 1 or Friday at 1. And then parents, feel free to contact us if you have any questions about this e-learning. So we just really appreciate you, and thank you so much.
Thank you.